First contact the year was 2087, when humanity first heard the voice from beyond the stars. Captain Alex Reed stood on the bridge of the Earth Defense Station, watching the massive alien ship drift through the asteroid belt like a sleeping giant. The vessel was 3 times larger than Earth's biggest battleship, its hull gleaming with unknown metals that seemed to bend light itself. "Captain, we're receiving a transmission," reported Communications Officer Lisa Park, her fingers dancing across the holographic display. It's translated automatically. They have our language." The main screen flickered to life, revealing a creature that looked like a cross between a lizard and a bird. Its scales shimmered blue-green, and 4 eyes blinked in sequence as it spoke. "I am Commander Vex of the Galactic Council. You are the species called humans, are you not?" Alex stepped forward, his uniform crisp despite the tension in the air. "I am Captain Reed of the Earth Defense Force. We welcome peaceful contact with your people." A sound that might have been laughter came from the alien. "Peaceful? How quaint. Your species has been observed for some time, human. Your wars, your violence, your primitive weapons. The Council has decided you are suitable. Suitable for what? For service. Your world possesses resources we require. Your people will work for the greater good of the galaxy. This is not a request." The bridge fell silent except for the hum of machinery. Alex felt the weight of 6 billion lives pressing on his shoulders. "And if we refuse, then you will be removed. Your military capabilities have been analyzed. Your largest weapons barely scratch our smallest ships. You have no choice in this matter." On the tactical display, red dots began appearing around Earth's orbit. Dozens of ships, each one dwarfing humanity's entire space fleet. Chief Tactical Officer Mike Stone leaned over his console, his face pale. "Captain, our sensors are going crazy. Those ships, they're not just bigger than ours. They're using technology we can't even understand." Alex watched the alien commander's 4 eyes blink in what seemed like amusement. "You have 7 of your days to prepare for integration into our workforce. Resistance will be met with appropriate force." The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. Alex turned to his crew, seeing fear and determination mixing in their faces. "Get me a direct line to Earth Command. Priority Alpha." Within hours, every major government on Earth was in emergency session. The president called Alex directly, her voice tight with controlled panic. "Captain, what's your assessment?" "Ma'am, they're not bluffing. Their ships are beyond anything we've ever seen. But there's something else. They think they know us, but they're only seeing part of the picture." "What do you mean?" Alex looked. Out at the stars, where the alien ships waited like patient predators. "They've been watching our wars, our conflicts. They see us fighting each other and think that's all we are. But they haven't seen what happens when humanity faces a common threat. You have a plan? The beginning of one. We need to buy time. Make them think we're even weaker than they believe. Let them underestimate us while we prepare." The next few days were a blur of secret meetings and hidden preparations. On the surface, Earth's governments appeared to be debating surrender. News reports showed panic in the streets, people fleeing cities, military forces seeming to fall apart. But beneath the chaos, something else was happening. In hidden bunkers and secret facilities, humanity's greatest minds worked around the clock. The projects that had been theoretical became urgent reality. Weapons that existed only in blueprints were rushed into production. Dr. Emma Wells, Earth's leading physicist, stood before a massive machine that hummed with barely contained energy. "The fusion cannon is ready for testing. But Alex, I have to warn you, if this works, there's no going back. We'll be revealing capabilities they don't know we have. Doctor, they're going to enslave our entire species. I think the time for hiding is over." On the 7th day, Commander Vex's ship descended through Earth's atmosphere, flanked by a dozen escort vessels. The alien commander stood in his ship's observation deck, watching the primitive planet below. His aide, a smaller reptilian creature named Kip, approached with a report. "Commander, their military forces have gathered in what appears to be a surrender formation. They're broadcasting requests for mercy." Vex's scaled lips curved in what passed for a smile among his kind. "Excellent. Another species learns their place in the galaxy. Begin the harvest procedures." But as the alien ships moved into position over Earth's major cities, something unexpected happened. The surrender broadcasts stopped. Instead, a single message went out on all frequencies, spoken in Captain Reed's steady voice. "This is Earth to all hostile vessels. You made one mistake. You thought you knew what humans were capable of. You're about to learn the truth." The galaxy was about to discover that humanity had been holding back. Commander Vex watched the blue planet below with satisfaction. The human surrender had been pathetic, even by the standards of primitive species. His fleet of 47 ships hung in Earth's orbit like metal moons, their weapons trained on the major population centers. "Begin the first phase," he ordered his aide Kip. "Target their military installations. A small demonstration should convince any remaining resistance." The lead destroyer, Claw of Victory, powered up its main cannon. The weapon could level a mountain with a single shot. Its target was the human military base they called Pentagon, where their so-called leaders had gathered to formally surrender. But as the alien ship prepared to fire, something impossible happened. The ground beneath the Pentagon opened like a flower, revealing a massive structure that rose from hidden depths. The building was not what it seemed. It was a shell, a facade hiding something far more dangerous. "What is that?" Vex demanded, his four eyes focusing on the tactical display. The structure continued rising, revealing itself to be a colossal weapon platform. Its surface bristled with arrays that pulsed with blue energy. But it was not alone. Across the planet, similar structures emerged from beneath cities, mountains, and oceans. Hidden installations revealed themselves like sleeping giants awakening. Kip's voice cracked with disbelief. "Commander, we're detecting massive energy signatures. These readings, they're impossible. No primitive species should have access to this level of technology." On the Claw of Victory, the weapon officer turned to his captain in confusion. "Sir, our targeting systems are being jammed. Something is interfering with our weapons." Captain Reed's voice echoed across all frequencies, broadcast from the hidden command center beneath Washington. "Commander Vex, I hope you're listening. You wanted to see our military capabilities. You're about to get a demonstration." The Pentagon platform fired first. A beam of pure energy, brighter than lightning, struck the Claw of Victory amidships. The alien destroyer's shields, designed to withstand asteroid impacts and plasma weapons, shattered like glass. The ship broke apart in a silent explosion that lit up the sky. Vex staggered as his flagship shook from the shockwave. "Impossible. Our intelligence said they had primitive kinetic weapons. Chemical rockets." "They did," came Reed's voice over the comm. "But you were watching the wrong war. While you observed our conflicts with each other, we were preparing for a war with you." Across Earth's surface, the hidden weapons platforms opened fire. Beams of energy lanced upward, each one finding its target with perfect precision. The alien ships, caught completely off guard, scrambled to return fire. Dr. Emma Wells stood in the primary command bunker, watching the tactical display with grim satisfaction. "The fusion cannon network is operating at full capacity. Phase 2 is ready for your command, Captain." Reed nodded, his face illuminated by the glow of the screens. "You see, Commander Vex, humans have a saying, 'Know your enemy.' We've been studying your technology since the first probe entered our solar system 3 years ago." "That's impossible," Vex roared. "We detected no such probe." Because you weren't looking for it. The probe you sent to observe us? We captured it, reverse engineered it, used it to build a network of surveillance devices throughout your space. We've been watching you as long as you've been watching us. The alien commander's scaled hands gripped his command chair as another of his ships exploded in Earth's orbit. You primitive savages. You cannot defeat the might of the Galactic Council. Primitive? Reed's voice carried a note of cold amusement. Commander, you made a critical error. You assumed that because we fight among ourselves, we're weak. But those wars you observed, they weren't our weakness. They were our training. Around the planet, human military forces that had appeared to be in disarray suddenly moved with deadly precision. Ships that had seemed to be fleeing turned and attacked. Weapons that had been hidden revealed themselves. The entire planet transformed from a helpless target into a fortress bristling with defenses. Admiral Sarah Kim, commanding the Pacific Fleet, watched from the bridge of the Yamato as her ships engaged the alien vessels. All units, execute pattern Delta. Show them what human tactics look like when we're not fighting each other. The alien ships, designed for overwhelming weaker opponents, found themselves facing an enemy that refused to be overwhelmed. Human vessels, smaller but faster, swarmed around the larger alien ships like angry wasps. Their weapons, while individually weaker, struck with coordinated precision. Vex watched his tactical display in growing horror as ship after ship went dark. How? How did they advance so quickly? We didn't advance, Reed replied. We were always capable of this. We just chose to hide it until the right moment. Every human conflict you observed taught us something new about warfare. Every battle made us stronger, and when you arrived, we were ready. The first phase of the battle was over. Of the 47 ships that had arrived to conquer Earth, only 23 remained. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's greatest strength was not their weapons, but their ability to unite against a common threat. Asterisk, the emergency session of the Galactic Council convened in chaos. Representatives from dozens of species filled the massive chamber, their various forms of communication creating a cacophony of clicks, growls, and electronic tones. At the center of it all, High Chancellor Moore stood at the podium, his ancient form trembling with disbelief. The human fleet has broken through the orbital blockade, he announced, his voice carrying across the chamber. Commander Vex's invasion. Force has been ... eliminated. A ripple of shock ran through the assembled delegates. The reptilian Senator Crow rose from his seat, his voice hissing with indignation. Impossible. The humans were catalogued as Level 2 primitives. They barely had spaceflight capabilities. The reports are confirmed, Moore replied grimly. Not only have they destroyed Vex's fleet, but their ships are now moving beyond their solar system. They appear to be pursuing our retreating vessels. Above Earth, Captain Reed stood on the bridge of humanity's new flagship, the Defiance. The vessel was a marvel of human engineering, enhanced by captured alien technology. Its hull gleamed with the same light-bending metal the aliens used, but its weapons were purely human in design, and far more dangerous than anything the galaxy had seen. Captain, we're receiving transmissions from multiple alien vessels, reported Lieutenant Tom Walsh from the communications station. They're asking for mercy. Reed looked at the tactical display showing the fleeing alien ships. 3 of Vex's vessels had managed to escape Earth's orbit, but they were damaged and slow. Open a channel to all ships, both human and alien. The main screen flickered to life, showing the bridge of an alien vessel. The creature on screen was different from Vex, smaller, with fur, instead of scales, and eyes that showed genuine fear. Please, the alien captain pleaded, we surrender. We were following orders. We didn't know your true capabilities. Your name and species? Reed asked calmly. Captain Nix of the Furlan Republic. We were told this was a simple pacification mission, that your people were divided and weak. Reed's expression remained neutral. And now? Now we see the truth. Your species fights as one when threatened. Your technology is beyond what we were told. We request safe passage to return to our territory. In the background, Reed could hear other voices on the alien bridge, speaking in rapid, frightened tones. The universal translator picked up fragments. ... impossible coordination. ... weapons beyond our understanding. ... They let us see only what they wanted us to see. ... Permission granted, Reed said finally. But deliver this message to your Galactic Council. Earth is no longer a target. We are now a player in this galaxy, and we remember our enemies. The transmission ended, and Reed turned to his tactical officer. Status report on the fleet? All human vessels operational, sir. We've captured or destroyed 44 alien ships. The 3 retreating vessels are being escorted to the edge of our solar system. And our new friends? Commander Lisa Park, now serving as Reed's first officer, smiled grimly. The Centauri colonies have declared their independence from the Galactic Council. They're requesting alliance with Earth. Same with the mining colonies in the Vega system. Reed nodded. It was beginning, just as they had planned. Any word from the outer monitoring stations? Yes, sir. We're detecting massive fleet movements throughout the galaxy. It seems word of what happened here is spreading fast. Light years away, in the council chambers of the Galactic Council, the debate had turned to panic. Species that had been allies for centuries were now questioning the Council's authority. The humans had done more than just defeat an invasion force. They had shattered the myth of galactic invincibility. The humans destroyed our most advanced ships with apparent ease, reported Intelligence Chief Zach, his tentacles writhing with anxiety. Our analysts believe they've been developing their technology in secret for decades. How is that possible? Demanded Senator Crowell. We monitored their communications, their military developments. They let us see what they wanted us to see, Zach replied. While we watched them fight among themselves, they were preparing for us. Every conflict, every war, was training for this moment. High Chancellor Moore raised his hand for silence. The question now is, what do we do? The humans have proven they can defeat our forces. More importantly, they've inspired other species to rebel against Council authority. We need to negotiate, suggested Delegate Yill from the aquatic sectors. The humans have shown mercy to the survivors. Perhaps we can reach an understanding. Negotiate? Crowell's voice rose to a shriek. They are primitives. We do not negotiate with primitives. They just destroyed an entire battle fleet, or pointed out coldly. I suggest we reconsider our definition of primitive. On the outer rim of human space, the first diplomatic vessel approached Earth's borders. It was not a council ship, but a small craft from the Centauri colonies, carrying a message that would change everything. Earth vessel, this is Ambassador Lin of the Free Colonies. We formally request an audience with your leaders. We have information about a larger council fleet heading your way. And we have a proposition. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's greatest victory was not defeating their enemies, but turning them into allies. 6 months after the first battle, the galaxy had split into 2 camps. The Galactic Council's iron grip was crumbling as species after species declared independence or outright rebellion. And at the center of it all, humanity had become the symbol of resistance. Admiral Reed, now commanding the combined human colonial fleet, stood before a holographic map of the galaxy. Red dots marked council strongholds, blue showed free territories, and green indicated the growing network of human allies. The map told a story of rapid change. The Council's main fleet is moving, reported Intelligence Officer Ben Cross, his fingers dancing across the tactical display. 800 ships, including their dreadnoughts. They're calling it the Final Solution Fleet. Reed studied the massive formation approaching from the galactic core. Their target? Earth, sir. They plan to make an example of us. Complete. Planetary destruction. The room fell silent. Everyone knew what this meant. The Council wasn't just trying to defeat humanity. They were trying to terrorize the entire galaxy back into submission. "How long do we have?" asked Admiral Kim, her face grim. 2 weeks, maybe less. They're using forced hyperspace jumps, burning out their engines for speed. Reed turned to address the assembled commanders. Representatives from 17 different species filled the room, each one having thrown their lot in with humanity. "Ladies, gentlemen, and honored allies, the Council has made their choice. Total war it is." On the Council flagship Eternal Dominion, High Chancellor Moore reviewed the battle plans with cold satisfaction. The massive ship was the size of a small moon, its weapons capable of cracking planets. Around it, the largest fleet in galactic history moved through space like a storm of metal and death. "The humans have corrupted too many species," Moore said to his war council. "We end this now. We destroy Earth, scatter their fleet, and remind the galaxy why we rule." General Voss, the Council's top military commander, nodded grimly. "The human fleet is impressive, but they're outnumbered 10-1. Their technology is good, but ours is proven across 1,000 worlds. This will be their last battle." But the humans were not waiting passively. Captain Dave Stone, commanding the Stealth, Ship Ghost, watched from the shadows as the Council fleet approached. His vessel was invisible to their sensors, a marvel of human engineering that bent light and energy around it like water. "Message drone deployed," reported his communications officer. "Admiral Reed will have real-time intelligence on their formation." The Council fleet was massive, but it was also predictable. They moved in traditional formations, relying on overwhelming firepower and proven tactics. They had no idea what humanity had learned from 6 months of studying their methods. Back on Earth, the war factories worked around the clock. Dr. Emma Wells stood in the primary research facility, watching as the final components of Project Prometheus were assembled. The weapon was humanity's greatest secret, a technology that would change the nature of warfare itself. "It's ready," she announced to Reed over the secure comms. One shot, and their entire fleet formation becomes a liability instead of an advantage. And the risks? Minimal to our forces, catastrophic to theirs. "Alex, this isn't just a weapon. It's a statement. After this, no one will ever underestimate human ingenuity again." The final preparations were frantic, but organized. Human efficiency, learned from centuries of warfare, combined with alien technology to create something unprecedented. Ships that looked damaged were actually disguised weapons platforms. Asteroid fields were turned into massive minefields. Even the space around Earth itself became a weapon. Commander Lisa Park, now leading the Home Defense Fleet, watched the final pieces fall into place. All civilian populations evacuated to the underground cities. Defense platforms online. The planet is as ready as we can make it. What about the colonies? Reed asked. The Centauri shipyards have completed the new fighter class. Fast, deadly, and completely unexpected. The Vega mining stations have been converted to weapons platforms, and the Outer Rim colonies are providing logistics support. Reed smiled grimly. The Council thinks they're fighting one species. They're about to learn they're fighting an alliance. As the Council fleet approached the edge of the solar system, a transmission went out across the galaxy. It was simple, direct, and carried the weight of human determination. This is Admiral Reed of the Human Alliance Fleet. To all free peoples of the galaxy, we make this promise. The age of the Council's tyranny ends today. To the Council forces approaching Earth, we offer one final chance for surrender. Withdraw. Now, and your crews will be spared. Continue your attack, and learn why humans are the most dangerous species in the galaxy. The response from the Council was swift and predictable. Eternal Dominion fired a single shot toward Earth, a demonstration of power meant to terrify. The shot never reached its target. It simply ... disappeared. Impossible. General Voss breathed, staring at his tactical display. No, came Reed's voice over the comm. Just human. The real war was about to begin. The Council fleet stared in stunned silence as their most powerful weapon simply vanished into nothingness. General Voss gripped his command chair, his knuckles white with tension. How did they stop a planet killer? Beam? Sir, his sensor officer reported, voice trembling. We're detecting massive energy signatures throughout the system. It's like ... like space itself is weaponized. Admiral Reed's voice came through the comm, calm and steady. Project Prometheus is online, General. Every cubic meter of space around Earth is now under our control. Your weapons will not function. Here, High Chancellor Moore pushed past Voss to the communications console. What devilry is this? No species has ever developed such technology. You keep saying that, Reed replied. And you keep being wrong. Humans have one advantage you never understood. We don't just fight wars. We reinvent them. The truth was staggering. Humanity had not just learned to use alien technology. They had surpassed it. Project Prometheus was a space-time manipulation. Field that could redirect energy, alter matter, and control the very fabric of reality within its boundaries. It was science fiction made real. Attack formation. Moore commanded his fleet. All ships full assault. They cannot protect themselves from 800 ships. The Council fleet moved forward like a tidal wave of death. But as they entered the solar system, something impossible happened. Their ships began to slow, their weapons failing to charge, their shields flickering and dying. What's happening to us? Captain Dex of the destroyer Bloodclaw called out in panic. Space-time distortion. His science officer reported. The humans have somehow weaponized physics itself. Our ships are being drained. On Earth, Dr. Emma Wells monitored the field from the primary control center. Prometheus is working perfectly. Their ships are being converted into raw energy to power our defenses. The more they send, the stronger we become. But the real shock came next. The Human Alliance fleet, led by the Defiance, moved through the distortion field as if it didn't exist. Human ships, enhanced by 6 months of continuous innovation, struck the helpless Council vessels with precision and overwhelming force. This isn't a battle, General Voss whispered in horror. This is a demonstration. Admiral Kim's fighter squadrons, launched from the converted Centauri carriers, swarmed through the Council formation like wolves among sheep. The alien ships, designed for long-range bombardment, were helpless against the fast, agile human craft. Council fleet, this is your final warning, Reed announced. Surrender now or be destroyed. Your choice. The response came not from the commanders, but from the crews themselves. Ship after ship began broadcasting surrender signals. The rank-and-file soldiers, seeing their leaders' tactics fail so completely, chose survival over blind obedience. Mutiny! Moore screamed. This is mutiny! No, came a new voice. Captain Nix, the Furlan officer who had escaped Earth months ago, appeared on the main screen. This is evolution. Admiral Reed, the free ships request permission to join your fleet. Within. Ours, the largest fleet in galactic history, had become the largest surrender in galactic history. Of the 800 Council ships, Only 50 remained loyal to the old regime. The rest had either joined the alliance or been captured. High Chancellor Moore, his ancient form shaking with rage, made one final desperate gambit. If I cannot rule this galaxy, then let it burn. He activated the Eternal Dominion's self-destruct sequence, intending to take the entire system with him. But Reed had anticipated this. Dr. Wells, Project Prometheus, Phase 2. The space-time field around Moore's ship suddenly contracted, creating a perfect sphere of altered reality. The massive explosion that should have destroyed half the solar system was contained, compressed, and redirected harmlessly into empty space. Impossible, Moore breathed as his ship's hull began to buckle from the contained energy. No, Reed said quietly. Just human. The war was over. The Galactic Council, an organization that had ruled for thousands of years, dissolved within weeks. In its place rose the Galactic Alliance, with Earth as its first capital and humans as its founding members. But perhaps the most important change was not political, it was philosophical. The galaxy had learned that strength was not about domination, but about cooperation. That advanced technology meant nothing without the wisdom to use it properly. And that the most dangerous species in the galaxy was not the one with the biggest guns, but the one smart enough to turn those guns into tools of peace. Captain Reed, now Admiral of the Galactic Alliance Fleet, stood on the observation deck of the new space station orbiting Earth. Ambassador Lin of the former Centauri colonies joined him, watching as ships from dozens of worlds came and went in peaceful trade. Do you think they'll remember this lesson? Lin asked. Reed smiled, watching. A group of young aliens learning from human instructors. They'll remember, and if they don't, we'll remind them. That's what humans do best. We adapt, we learn, and we never give up. The galaxy had thought humanity was weak. They had learned the truth. Humans were not weak. They were patient. And now, the galaxy would never be the same. Asterisk.